And Mackenzie, also out of Annapolis, lawmakers getting a look at Maryland's budget situation ahead of the next legislative session. What can you tell us about some of the numbers that you're hearing?
Yeah, it's a grim outlook right now, Mary. I can tell you that this is just a projection at this point, but budget leaders are telling lawmakers that they're staring at a nearly $1.5 billion budget deficit for fiscal year 2027. That's this next budget year. Now, leaders say that they're pointing to several different factors for the reason for this cash cliff that is approaching lawmakers at this point. The administration and budget analysts say that a lot of this comes down to federal policies coming out of Washington, specifically pointing to some tax code changes that we saw take place in the One Big Beautiful Bill earlier this year. However, there's also concerns about agency spending overruns, and we saw that take place, eat up the cash balance that was left over at the end of fiscal year 2025, heading into this current budget year at this point. But we're also looking at the funding sources for the blueprint for Maryland's future. That's the multi-year education spending plan, and analysts say if that is not figured out for the out years, this deficit is only going to grow.
Even if you froze spending on everything, all you tried to do is do the blueprint fund swap, you don't have enough revenue to fully cover it. So it illustrates that there will be a need for pretty steep cuts across the budget in fiscal 28 and or some revenues in fiscal 28 to bring 28 into structural balance.
Now, Democrats who are part of this budget briefing today, again, really place a lot of the blame at the feet of President Donald Trump and his administration's policies. But Republicans in Maryland point to Democrats in Annapolis for this spending problem that seems to be taking place right now. We have a statement from the Senate Minority Leader, Steve Hershey. He says, quote, "You can't spend like there's no tomorrow and act surprised when the bill comes due. This administration and legislative Democrats have tied Maryland taxpayers to new, expensive, long-term programs like the multi-billion-dollar blueprint for education and the unchecked expansion of entitlement programs with no sustainable plan to pay for them." Now, these budget numbers, again, are just projections, and they're expected to continue to evolve even as soon as next month, and then lawmakers will get another projection sometime in March. But at this point, we can see that lawmakers heading into the next General Assembly session will be faced with more tough decisions about how to close this budget gap. Now, I did just get a statement from the Senate President Bill Ferguson about what he wants to see lawmakers focus on next session. We'll have that and a closer look at these budget numbers coming up at 10. Live in the newsroom, Mackenzie Frost, Fox 45 News.
I'm Kai Jackson. Thank you for watching. Here's another video to watch. Also, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel.